So in the last video, I talked about the different reasons why people buy solar panels based on industry and academic research. And that's based on the different values, beliefs, life goals, all of that people have. And hopefully that's already been helpful for you if you have a solar panel business or if you're in sales. This video is going to be even more specific and it's going to be more helpful if you're in the industry and you're looking to get better results, particularly getting more leads and more sales and things like that. So what I'm going to look at is how you can build a feedback loop system that creates a point of difference in your marketing. That means you get better results with your lead generation, better results with your sales, and all the good things that you really want to grow your business. So I'm going to be talking about a simple survey feedback loop system that you can easily implement in your business over the next few days. So why is it important to be able to do this and to be able to write better copy? Well, using the modern advertising and marketing platforms, they're going to be wanting to show content which is more relevant to people. And these things in the advertising space are all based on auctions. So if you're paying the same amount or even slightly more than your competitors, then these advertising platforms are not just going to take whoever's paying the most, they're going to take who is paying, but also has what they consider to be more relevant content to the users on the platform, because ultimately their goal is to get people to spend as much time as possible on there, so then they can go and watch other ads and overall capture more money. So you want to be creating advertising that resonates more deeply with people. And one of the best ways you can do that is by talking to questions and problems that people in your market have that aren't being spoken to by other forms of advertising. I'm going to read a quote here from one of my favorite marketers, Perry Marshal. He says that 99% of marketers have absolutely no idea how to use surveys. They think they're supposed to ask people what their most important question or need is, then just echo these needs back to them in priority order, like a kind of FAQ. But the problem with FAQs is that they're also frequently answered questions. Frequently presented needs are also frequently catered to needs. In other words, all a standard survey does for you is identify the price of entry benefits for a market. It doesn't give you any way of distinguishing what needs represent the market gap or where you might position yourself with a point of difference. So in other words, by doing surveys the wrong way, you just get the same information as everyone else and you present yourself in the same way as everyone else. But by doing surveys in the right way, which is actually quite straightforward and simple, then you differentiate yourself from competitors and get all of the benefits that I've just spoken about. So how do you actually set this up? How do you gather this information? Well, obviously the main way I'm going to be talking about is the survey tool, but there's two other ways that can work really well. So one of them is looking at social media posts, so going through Facebook groups, comments on competitors' ads, comments on YouTube videos, things like that. And you can get a sense of the questions that people are asking, but are finding difficult to get answers to. And second one is sales calls. So if you're recording sales calls or just getting feedback from sales reps or doing sales calls yourself, it's really important to pay attention to the different objections and questions that are coming up and then to integrate those back into your marketing. And again, these are two other ways of getting these benefits. But the main one here, because it's more of a systematized thing, is survey tools. So how do you actually do one of these surveys? So the main way that I set it up for clients that I work with is making it part of a 7 to 8 step initial email sequence. And I'm going to create another video on those email sequences because they can be very powerful and they have a list of different prompts that you can use to hook into different psychological triggers and points of difference that you can use in that email sequence to reopen the conversation with sales reps, gain trust, and ultimately make more sales. But in this video, all you really need to know is on step 3 to 5 of that email sequence, what you want to do is insert this survey. And this not only has people actually filling out the survey, but if you phrase it right in that email, then you also have people replying to the email. And we found that that's actually been a really good way of reopening a conversation with leads who maybe didn't even pick up the phone the first time, or they otherwise would have gone dead in the system. So that's a side benefit, but the main thing that we want to do is get that information to then bring back into our marketing. So again, drawing on Perry Marshal's work here, the survey at its most basic level, and he calls this the 80-20 survey technique, you want to have three main questions. You have the what question, the why question, and the how difficult question. So going through each one of those, the what question is, what's your single most important question about getting solar panels? Or you can phrase it a little differently. And the why question is, why would it make a difference in your life to get a good answer for this problem or find a solution for your need? So again, that's a little bit more general, but you can change the language of that to make it more specific to solar. And then the how difficult is, how difficult have you found it so far to get an answer or a solution to that? And this is quite important, because what you want to do is focus on the responses where people have said it's been very difficult to get a good answer for this question or this problem. And then look at the problems they're saying they're having. And if you're noticing patterns within that, then those are the sorts of things that can be really helpful to incorporate into your marketing. So I'm going to pull up the actual survey that I'm using right now in one of my clients' businesses. And you can see I've added quite a few more questions in here. And what I've done is set it up so that even if someone only responds to one question, that is still going to get recorded. And then if they respond to more questions, then obviously we keep adding to that data set. And in technical terms, I'm using a tool called LeadsHook, which is also an incredibly useful tool for attracting leads in the first place. And I'll probably create another video on that. If you want that sooner, please do comment below and let me know. But the point for this video is that it's a very useful tool also for doing surveys. And one of the cool things that I like about it is that you can do things like, for particular questions, you can then fire off actions based on those. So let me talk about that more specifically. So one of the questions I have towards the end of the survey is, how would you answer this? I would buy solar panels today if. And so you can imagine some of the responses that we get for that are things which are just misconceptions that people have that we're able to answer really well. So for example, it might be something like, I would buy solar panels today if I could power my home at night, or I'd buy them today if I could get off the grid during power cuts and still power my home, or I'd buy them today if you could guarantee that I could put them on my listed building home. And that's maybe something specific to the UK, but all of these examples are things that some of my clients are able to provide a really good answer for, and people might just assume that it's not going to work for them. But these types of things are really good for the sales reps to be able to reply to. And so one of the things you can do is, if someone answers that question, then the sales rep responsible for that lead then gets a message right away saying, hey, this person is asking about this question, and they're saying they'd buy them today if this objection was resolved. So a really powerful sales tool as well, directly. But obviously, the main focus here is on the marketing. And again, that could be a really powerful question to be able to use in your YouTube video ads, in your organic content, even in landing pages and Google ads. So some of the other questions I have are, it's a mixture of multiple choice and free flowing text, because obviously more people are going to fill out the multiple choice, but then we do get some really interesting results and interesting content that we can use from the free flowing ones. So we have, what would you like solar companies to do differently? Because some people are frustrated about the sales process, but they're not going to open up to the sales reps about how they would like that to work differently, because people are worried about rejection themselves, or it's just, why would they bother? They can go to a different company. But we find that in this format, people can be really open and they can give us really helpful things that we wouldn't otherwise hear from them. So you can see some of the other questions here. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but you can see this is a really powerful tool for building this feedback loop system into your marketing. So to summarize, the importance of building these feedback loops is really high because you're going to be able to get much lower advertising costs for your competitors. So especially on things like Google Ads, where the cost per click can get really high for solar, then the more that you can do to be more relevant, the less you're actually going to be paying, and you're going to be paying less than your competitors to generate a lead and then therefore to actually generate a sale. And so you're going to be growing your business more than your competitors whilst paying less, which is a big game changer. And it's about those continuous improvements. So that's why it's important. So how do you do it? Use the 80-20 survey technique. And you can use this on the back of landing pages. So when someone fills out a lead form, when they've clicked through from a Google search ad, then you can say, hey, one more step. We're going to contact you in just a second, but would you mind answering these 3 quick questions? And that way it gives you another place to gather that information. And that's really useful specifically for fine-tuning Google search ads. And the other place you want to use it is part of a 7 to 8 step email sequence designed to reactivate leads where they haven't responded to other methods of communication, and to build trust with people that have as well. Just to go over the benefits one more time, you're going to be getting better overall results of your marketing. You're also going to get more opportunities for sales reps to get information that they need to reopen the conversation and close more sales directly as well. So that would be things like when a lead responds to a question in the survey or responds to the email, then the sales rep can go in and directly reopen that conversation. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. If you do want to work directly with me and getting some of these strategies set up directly in your business, then go to uplevelgreen.com/consulting and set up a call with me. And please do check out some of my other videos. Hopefully there'll be some other content there that will be useful for you. And if there's anything specifically that you want to learn, please do comment below this video and I will prioritize getting those videos out there for you. And thanks again for watching this.